It's the Bad Dem Show. It's your boy
Your
Vegas.
boy Gutsy.
And we got a very, very special guest all the way from the left coast. We are tapped in with streamer extraordinaire, artist, songwriter, fuck everything under the goddamn umbrella. We got the big dog, Curtis King, in the building.
Let's
What
go.
a beautiful
Jeez,
setup we got.
right?
The
Holy.
Mamba mentality, I tell you, we need to stay on that Mamba mentality. RP Kobe, you know what I'm saying?
Come on.
Mamba mentalities all day, every day. Love the setup, love the keyboards. I know you be cooking. What's that you
Come on.
drinking right there? What's that we drinking? Arizona or
Oh
something?
no, this is water. This is
Okay.
perfect. It's water in a can. It's water in a can. I gave it to I had an interview with an artist last night, and he was like, "Water in a can." I don't think I ever had that, but keep the microplastics out of my body. So yeah, shout out to them.
That's what's up. Gutsy.
Thank you for having me. You also, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Thank
Gutsy's idea. He's like, yo, right now. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna send you an email.
I know I said this offline, but I'm gonna say it again. I don't think you understand. Like, as much as my content has been, some may say anti-Drake, some may say it hasn't been shining, that camp in its in the most positive light. It's never been anti-Canada, and I've been waiting for the opportunity to talk to somebody that represents, not just one segment of the culture, but really represents let's use some common sense here, and let's take into consideration the history before Novio existed. And I'm so glad that y'all reached out, because we're in a time where we have way too many connections, to contrast it from the East Coast, West Coast beefs and all of that. We have way too many connections to reach across the board where we should be having communications, and all this nonsense that I see popping up now. I'm just like, what are we trying to accomplish? So I'm not trying to jump the gun on this, but I did want to say thank you for having me on.
No, thank you for your time, man.
Because it's the same thing for us. Like, as Canada, we feel like it's even worse because we're trying to get to the networks, we're trying to get to the artists, we're trying to get our artists bubbling, our platforms bubbling, and it's so hard. So we appreciate any of you guys that just reach out to have any conversations with us, an artist or anything. Like, shit, we need it, because you guys said something on the pod, or not on the pod, on that United, yes, the thing that you had where it was like, you felt like, I think you said it was hard. Brooklyn was similar to the West Coast. And I honestly feel like Canada is more similar to the West Coast more than anything, because it's like, we got our ones, like, our 1-2, we got Nav, The Weeknd, Bieber, but like, that's where it goes, especially with the hip hop, that kind of realm. Everything else, it's just like, it's such a struggle to get our artists just to get some sort of light on them, any shine on them. So when I see like the West Coast problems, and I look at Toronto, I was like, more than anything, I was just like, God damn, we shouldn't be like, why? This shouldn't be a West Coast versus Canada thing, because we in the same boat.
Well, I mean, in a lot of ways, some of that is because of the region. When I think about, shout out to my guy Glasses, he always made it clear to me. He said, West Coast, Los Angeles specifically, is a movie capital before it's a music capital, right? It's a movie scene before it's an entertainment scene before it is a music scene. New York is the exact opposite. When you talk about having like Sway in the Morning and all the East Coast publications, it's music first and then everything else. So because of just the region alone, there's limitations. Even though we may have all of the biggest record labels that are out there in the city, even though we may have some of the most known radio stations, it doesn't always equate to independent artists being heard. And there's been so many people who have been instrumental in keeping that conversation alive. Like shout out my guy Chuck Dizzle and DJ Head from when they did Homegrown Radio. They did Homegrown Radio right out of a house, and had they had Kendrick there. They had everybody from TDE all in the house, and they were doing these episodes, and that's really how the West had an opportunity. So I hear what you're saying, and that there's a few regions that on the map look huge as hell, but when you're talking about how much representation and diversity exists, it feels like a really, 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 really small radius that folks are focused on.
Facts.
Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah, because just like Friday was saying, we got tons of dope artists, but it's same thing. It feels like it's the same thing. Like whether it's the underground artists that are coming up, they either get locked up or they die. It's the same thing with us. Whether it been like a Houdini, Bugs that Vegas has worked with. Vegas has worked with like almost all these artists out here, and it's just like
Right.
it's the same cycle that we see over here that I seen over there. So it was just like, man, bro, I hate the fact that they're trying to clash us out of all the people, right?
Yeah, and maybe not just over here, but I think worldwide. You know what I'm saying? There's always gonna be that hot artist that is just street heavy that, you know what I'm saying, messes up his chances and goes to jail or ends up at the wrong place and dies, like the Devons and you know what I'm saying, all these guys that have this heavy influence on street culture, you know. But I would definitely say,
can I add one thing to that real quick?
Go ahead.
Just real quick, because you did bring up something I think is interesting, that is important. I think that's also another determining factor is that no rapper gets out of the coast. No rapper comes out of the coast and becomes a massive success in rap without there's some kind of street politics involved. Because maneuvering out here gets really, really tricky. I mean, out of towners will tell you how tricky it is. And that's why the whole idea of checking in even exists for some people, right? Because they want to be able to smoothly maneuver back and forth as they go through different places. Some of them want to come to the hood, and that's where it gets really, really even more trickier. Yeah. But no, the street aspect of it is something that's very important. Me, even somebody that, I'm not, I'm a civilian. Like I'm not a street dude, but I just so happen to know a lot of Crips and a lot of Bloods from just working and making music with them as a producer. But with that said, no, that's a big thing too, is that, I'll just say this without giving too many details. There's a protocol and there's a system. And if you have not been properly introduced into that system, it's going to be a rocky road for you to come out because, gatekeeping does exist. Just like it does in a lot of sections, it exists. And those who have the power to say, nah, turn those lights off, will sometimes do it because they want to make sure that the right representation is the one that comes up to the forefront. So I didn't mean to cut you off, Vegas. I just want to make sure that I got that across.
No, you 100%, because everything he's saying just reminds us of Loose, right?
Yeah, exactly. Checking in. You got to make sure is that hat good out there? Like, make sure you wear black. You know what I'm saying? Don't wear no Blue Jays. Right? Yeah, that's crazy. Actually, getting into that a little bit, Curtis. As a producer engineer, did you ever find it maybe energy draining to deal with gangsters in the studio?
I'll tell you this. Although, you have personas out here and you have folks that, look like some badass people in this world, the most gangster of gangsters.
Ooh. Let me find out the gangsters heard that, bro. The gangsters heard that and were like, yo.
That's crazy.
That's a clip. That's a
crazy.
We're going viral with Mr. Kid.
Have another, and it's funny, the palm tree is the one that came down too, huh?
Right?
We might have to move on from this question. This was
we find out Friday's chopping over there. Friday's chopping trees over there or something.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's look, that's the bots. The bots found their way into the room. I'll say this. The most gangster of gangster rappers, they are who they are. They have done what they have done. Those have been the easiest human beings to work with because straight shooters, they don't, no pun intended. They straight shooters. They know exactly what they want to get in the studio. It's, who've been the biggest assholes? The ones that think they're superstars and haven't done anything.
Facts.
Yo, I'm telling you, this is a guy that we just dropped a clip for. Shout out to my boy. He's my friend. But he was like, yo, I'll make me a clip for the episode. I'm like, I already gave you a clip this morning. I'm not putting that on my page. I'm like, okay. Like, nigga, I'm doing stuff to fucking boost up your fucking status, my nigga. Like, you are part of a situation that people want to hear about. You don't want to put that on your page? Like, these guys are backwards. And I don't know. Yeah. I love him. That's my dog. Yeah. But sometimes these guys out here, they just go on like they're too sick. Like, they act like they're bigger than who they are.
I'll tell you this: the most lyrical, spiritual. I'm all about the people. Power to the people have been the biggest assholes I've met in this journey. The underground. I'm here for the love of hip hop. Those have been the worst jerks to work with in this game. The gangsters, their whole reputation is about authenticity. Their brand is the foundation of their brand is authenticity. So if you ever get in a situation where somebody says somebody is something that they have not presented themselves to be, that's a problem on many levels. So when I tell you, like, to this day, the folks that I still keep in touch with, the ones that give me the most solid advice would be the ones that you put in that category. Like Glass is one of my biggest mentors. As many rappers as I know, and none of them ever drove out from I shouldn't say none of them. Very few of them have drove out from LA all the way, or Long Beach, wherever he was at, all the way to Pomona when I had an album release party. Didn't even know he was coming. He pulled up in his caddy. He pulled up. He came to the show. He didn't make it about him. And he came to support my project. And all he did was have a verse with a remix. It was him and Hit Boy on a song that I did called The Ratchet Still Jocking. They did a remix. It was one of the first times you heard Hit Boy rapping. He comes in there and he just shows love. And like, that's what I look at it. And I'm like, dog, it's not about the title. It's about the human being. It's about their heart. And that's why I enjoy sitting down and talking with them, because it's like they're human beings like anybody else. But they tell stories that interest and intrigue us all. But I always make sure that I stress these are human beings. So even when they have their moments that are not on the highlights, these are human beings having human moments. So I don't glamorize it. I don't look at it as anything except for this is a human being that has a very different story than I had.
It's facts.
Are Toronto rappers okay in the States? Not even the States, LA. Because we've been on live with a couple of guys, and the guys from Toronto, yo, it's not good over there, Crody. Like, if we go over there, yo, the man are gonna pull up on all your way over, yo. And I'm like, yo, I don't think they care.
What? Here's the thing about it. It's a variable no matter where you go, right? I've had this thought. All the videos I've made over the last 8 months, I know somebody is fuming in Canada right now. I just know they like, when I see him, it's up. Like, that's just their disposition. And I have to respect that because they have a difference of opinion. I would say this. I think there's a better chance of me going out there with this LA fitted, me going out there and, with this Cali slang, this Cali language, and it being somebody who may be, and I'm not putting a generality on everybody, but somebody being hypersensitive just based upon the interactions I've had, hypersensitive and being like, I think I stand out more there than they would stand out there, because Los Angeles is a gumbo pot of all kind of different cultures.
Yep.
And nobody can look at you and be like, you from Canada, huh? Like, nobody would say that out there, like out here. But if you go somewhere else, they like, oh, you're not from around here. Like, it's just the demeanor, the talking. I went to New York one time with Murs. That's one of my OGs. I went to Murs, and the first thing I saw, we went out to one of these streets. They walked up by us and he said, he didn't even look at us. The guy said, niggas still wearing Jordans out here, huh, B? Talking to himself. And I looked at Murs. I said, do you know him? He said, nah, that's just how it is out here. So, like, I think that we probably would stand out more than someone from Canada would stand out more out here. So whether or not they safe, I would tell you this: there's places I don't go, and I lived out here my whole life. Even my own hometown, like, I love my hometown. I go there if I'm gonna visit family. If I'm gonna go back to, I would love to visit, but I keep my head on a swivel.
Yo, is it
where you at?
Is it the same Murs where Rick Ross was like, I don't know Murs, but I know birds? Is it that same Murs? Did you ever hear that song before?
Never heard that reference, but Murs, man, just to give him his roses, Murs used to be part of a legendary underground group called Living Legends, and he also had a very legendary independent solo career. He put together a festival called Paid Dues years and years ago. It was one of the biggest festivals. I had an opportunity to perform there. It's that Murs, Murs. He made a song called LA. So yeah, now he's doing amazing.
Right? He used to have dreads.
Dreads. Yeah. You know he is. Yeah.
It's the same Murs. I think it's the same Murs.
He was talking. What Rick Ross got to do saying something about Murs? That's so weird.
Yeah, that was like when he used to beef with 50 and stuff, gang related, a song called Gang Related. He's like, I don't know Murs, but I know birds.
It's hilarious. I've never heard that before, but no, that's my guy, man. He took me on my first tour in 2013, and he took me for 2 months. I went out here to like 50 cities, 25 states. I didn't get to go to Canada because I didn't have my passport, but that's another story for another day.
You got your passport now, though, right?
I got it now. I don't know if I'm going to
Okay.
Canada no time soon. Look, y'all, you look.
Don't worry.
Ross went out there and had some issues, man.
Nah, you good, bro. First we go to Vancouver, then we come to Toronto.
No,
We good.
but again, Ross was out
I
there.
know I'm good.
calling
I'm
the
just
boy
like,
a white boy.
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's heightened energy right now. I say.
It definitely is, but like Ross was out there calling the boy a white boy, and he was egging it. And too, that happened in Vancouver. That didn't even happen in Toronto. Like, you know what I'm saying? Toronto was supposed to be like the hood place where all the gangsters at, and they didn't even do shit yet. Like,
Future came down for a concert and it was almost sold out. And this is like after like that and all sorts of shit. Like,
oh wow.
oh
yeah, Toronto.
But he didn't perform.
I mean, it was a little
perform it, though.
egregious. It was a little egregious to play "Not Like Us" at the end of your set. Like, you ain't got no songs with Kendrick recently. You just start playing it. I think you looking for something at that point, or whoever the DJ was.
No, he didn't play Not Like Us. He played
No, he's
like
talking about the Rick Ross.
Oh,
He's
like
talking about
that.
the
It
Rick
was
Ross.
like that. That's right. It was like that. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
And he cut off the Kendrick part. So I was there. So he cut off the Kendrick part. It was all right.
He didn't play the Kendrick part.
No, he didn't. Come on.
Why was he over the first few Future verses?
Future. Toronto loves Future, bro. Future won't do us right.
I ain't going to Canada. Yeah, look how. Why y'all so violent out there? I'll say that from LA. Why y'all so violent out there? What's going on?
We trying to be like over there, like, you know what I'm saying. We see everybody in Chicago, and they're like, "Oh, Chicago turning up, so we gotta go turn up."
You don't want to imitate this violence. This to kind of get your PTSD out here. Like the amount of, I'm telling you, like, what. If you come out here acting wild, I don't care where you from. You playing a stupid game that gets you stupid prizes. I've lived in so many different cities. I've lived in Compton. I've lived in Long Beach. I've lived in Carson. I've lived in this is a spot out in it's another county, Riverside County, IE. I've lived in San Bernardino. All these spots I've lived in, and I learned very quickly. Like, you mind your business. You go looking for trouble. It's gonna be really, really easy to find. But if you mind your business, take care of what you need to take care of. Get in the house when you need to. And you know you a civilian, you'll be fine. But I think it's some people who come out here and they attract a certain energy because they on 10. Like, if you come out here paranoid, oh, somebody looking at you like a Happy Meal.
Oh yeah,
they know.
Mm-hmm.
Go get them. But no, it's wild out here right now, man. Because, you know, and that's something I always try to remind people is like the internet is not real life.
Tell these guys all the time.
That's not a representation of everybody. Like, come on, fam.
Mm-hmm.
But to some people, it is. This is their life. The internet is all they have. You know what I'm saying? Cloud is a dangerous drug. So,
yeah.
You want to jump into the drama,
the meat and potatoes, the reason why we here.
The reason you reached out to me, I'm telling you, I was like, oh, they trying to set me up. Who is this reaching out to me? I was like, man, they finally got to me.
Well, obviously, for what? This has been going on for a year. This has been the biggest, whether they like it or not, this has been the biggest rap battle that we've ever seen. Well, at least my era that's ever seen. Drake versus Kendrick. We're the Mandem, so we keep it real. We are the only Toronto podcast that will tell you Kendrick won. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like we don't
y'all for that, by the way, because I would do the same thing if that's the circumstances. I'm not standing by what I know is an obvious lie. I'm just like, damn, he got.
Hey, it happens to the best of people. I know Toronto has a problem with admitting losses. I don't know if maybe it's the street thing. Like, we don't claim losses, whatever. In my opinion, I don't care who else, Drake lost the battle. Now, Drake lost this battle even before he got on it. I seen what you said, and I actually marked it down on the same conversation. It was like an hour and 36 minutes in, and I told Vegas, go watch that piece. You were seeing in the lines pretty much Drake needed his fans to miss him.
Reach.
I've been saying this for at least 2 to 3 years.
Really?
We said it after honestly never mind. No, maybe her loss.
No. Me was honestly never mind.
Yeah,
I know for a fact after honestly never mind, he did that techno shit. People look at me all like, oh, they always run this music is not for you. Nigga, I was at the techno clubs. I was at those fist pumping parties. That was my kind of music.
Right.
So you can't tell me the music wasn't for me. It just wasn't hitting at the time. And at
Yeah.
that time, I said the same thing you said. It was a little bit different. I put some sauce on it, but I said Drake needs to get 40. He needs to get Hit Boy, get some beats from Boy Wonder, and he just needs to go away for 6 months.
Can I add this to it, man? Because I know that my channel. That's why I like when I see like the other outlets, like the academics, like he accidentally went to my page and shared a video that I shared. I was like, I don't think you want to bring your fans over where I'm at. That's probably not a wise decision, because it's not just dogpiling on nobody. We have intellectual conversations. We clown, but we have intellectual conversations that ask the viewer to question, whatever viewpoints you had before, like question it, because we're open to hearing other ones. Let me tell you this about Drake, man. If we don't have a lawsuit, there's an opportunity for him to walk away from this embarrassment of the song and the way it played out and still look like a champ. You know how? Because you went up against Pusha T, you went up against Meek Mill, you went up against Kendrick Lamar. Like even Muhammad Ali been knocked down. You went up against the baddest of the baddest, and you did your version of standing on business, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he sued. When that moment happens, like, call me old school, but it's voided, because at that point I look at you not only as a sore loser, but I look at you as somebody who is so detached from the culture of hip hop, not even West Coast culture, not East hip hop in general. That's not what you do. Can you imagine a battle rapper suing because of how loud the boos were? And I know that it's more complex than that with the labels and all of this, but I'm looking at that. I'm like, that's the moment that you really, really killed things off, because people would have looked at you and said, dog, he went up against the best of the best and did not back down.
Mm-hmm.
But the way this played out, the way that I kind of felt like he waved the white flag for Heart Part 6. I'm empathetic for OVO fans now, not the crazy ones. I'm empathetic for the ones who are going to town for him in terms of like defending him, because I know it's a lot of work and he don't make it easy all the time.
Facts. He does not make it easy at all. This is the problem I've had. It's like people will tell, oh, you're a hater. You're not a Drake fan anymore. Listen, the end of the year, YouTube, Spotify, Drake's at the top of everything. Kendrick's right there underneath. But it's like, when do we hold our artists accountable?
Mm-hmm. Like my question is this: why is he in Australia instead of rounding up artists like you said, the independent artists that you say that are in an area? Why is he not having his own Canadian pop out? Why is there not a time to say, you know what? If he feels the same way that Friday Ricky Dre said, if he feels that way, this is a time to unify and be like, you know what? Maybe I could have done more for certain artists that feel like you've been outside the circle. This is an opportunity to have a festival, an OVO festival at that.
Which he didn't have last year.
Which he didn't have. I didn't know he didn't have that last year. That's what I'm saying. Like, in this situation, this is when you say, I took an L, but we can show our strength in numbers by coming together in this moment. But the direction he went, and then, I know recently he just canceled the tour. It's to the point where it's like, man, who is he consulting in these decisions? Because they've been so off the mark. And I'm not even trying to be funny. They've been so off the mark. I had a different vision of him after I saw him in that battle with Meek Mill. I said, oh, this is a master of the 48 laws of power. He sent 6 bottles over to Charlemagne. There was rumors of him being, a floor above Meek Mill and causing hell by playing a song back to back, like even doing a back to back, which Kendrick used the same tactic on him. But even doing that, I'm like, dog, you've done the thing. Why did you lose all your superpowers in a battle? We didn't get one Drake type hook. We didn't get one singing type hook. We didn't get a Drake song the entire time. We got an impersonation of Drake in a battle. He didn't even pull out his biggest weapons of who he is, in my opinion. And then you don't bring you don't bring everybody together. You leave. Come on, man.
I think that's the Pusha T fault of it. I think when the Pusha T situation happened and he was able to scathe through it so calmly, I think that it got to his head where it's just like, oh, I'm untouchable in this bitch. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you guys can't really. Oh, you guys are calling out my kid that nobody knew about? What? You're just hiding the kid from the world, not whatever. It was like the way he skated through that. It was like, all right, I can do
No.
whatever in this shit.
Now, sorry to call you gotcha. I don't even think it's that. Remember, Pusha is not a big artist like Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why it looks like Drake won that war. But real people know Drake lost that battle. Drake lost that war. It's just the fact that Kendrick is as big as Drake. You know what I'm saying? If Pusha was big as Kendrick, Pusha would win that battle. Meek Mill wasn't as big as Drake. Drake won that battle. But then Drake's music was really good going into that battle. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to sit here and say Drake's music wasn't good into Kendrick's battle.
Sure.
Like Drake's music was really good. It's just that,
The strategy.
like Curtis said, the strategy and the songs, he didn't give us like a song like Kendrick did.
Well, see, I was going to say, not to cut you off, but this also lends to what it's crazy, because I think that when we really look at these as chapters, right, and he's battling chapters, even though he obviously obliterated Meek Mill, he took a shot. He took a very damaging shot, at least in the heads of a lot of hip hop heads like myself, who were like, wait a minute, you're not penning these raps, but you're calling yourself one of the best of this era? Like, you're not penning these raps. So you're in that game. So you're in the full record business of having the writers in okay, that's what you do. That's what you do. I look at you and I say, I'm never going to have that conversation of you versus Kendrick. I was more excited about the idea of Kendrick versus Cole, because like I know them two people right, because look at who's around them, right? Yeah. Pusha T, even though that was probably, some would argue, closer than, of course, Kendrick and Drake, it still was damaging to the reputation. And these are things that you take these hits. You can only take so many hits before, it's like a Megazord. You can only take so many hits before that leg go out.
Yeah, and it falls down.
You see, like he took another one that was a massive one, because it's like, wait a minute, we got photos of you in blackface?
I forgot about that shit. I forgot about that too.
It was the cover.
No matter what the explanation is, he did one of the minstrel show blackfaces. Are you kidding me? That's another hit. You can't undo these things. Now we're starting to see, and you have the especially for somebody who has a very large female fan base. Wait a minute, you're not you hiding your kid? Are you taking care of you? Now what I think is happening is that just based upon their responses on my videos, I think they're developing an avatar in their head of who they think he is. People always say "Not Like Us" was the nail in the coffin. I have a different argument. Meet the Grams is more damaging.
Facts.
If you're gonna sue about something, Meet the Gram should have been that, because I've always argued that it wasn't about him lying about Drake having a daughter, in my opinion, right? No matter what he said. I look at that verse and it's the same kind of energy when I think about a song like Promise That You Will Sing About Me. If you look at that as a theme, I look at that young girl, as a young fan of Drake. And now what he did in that verse was paint an avatar of Drake that they probably never even viewed him as. The guy that they had a crush on now looks like the deadbeat dad that's not in their life. That right there, that, like, when I started seeing women that were on YouTube crying to Meet the Grams, I said, what is that? Then I realized, you put that vision in their head that this guy right here that's kind of getting up there in age may be like the deadbeat dad, or the weird uncle. If you put that image into their head and that's your number one fan base, we're done here. Not Like Us at that point is just it's just a celebration after the revolution.
It's just a cherry on top.
We're done here. We would just celebrate now. Now to me, that is the most scathing, because he said, this ain't a rap battle. This is a long life battle with yourself. Really revisit that for those who don't understand the impact, because a lot of folks say, oh, the beat is dark. Okay, it's really spooky, whatever. No. For those who are invested emotionally, like the women in this battle, I think that one's a lot more scathing. I think time will tell. That was the one that might have really, really changed people's perception. Because it's like, no matter how hard you thought Family Matters was, you having a different conversation of like, wait a minute, who is the person behind these songs?
Just
a theory. Just a
theory. It sounds Yeah, I fuck.
When
That's a good theory.
when he wanted, remember, I was like, I hope he opens up the Super Bowl to that, because I'm like, that'd be some fucked up shit. imagine you hear the just you just hear dun, dun, dun. You're like, oh my god, Drake would have had to turn the TV off at that point. It would be like,
how many, not just Drake. You know how many people would have heard them spooky piano keys? Have you heard the actual gospel sample that Alchemist took on for that?
No.
It's just as spooky. When they said it's like, it's a gospel song that they sampled that from.
I did not even know that.
And I listened and I was like, what is this? What is it? Like, Jesus love you. No, it's just as spooky as the sample. And I'm like, what gospel song is this? Demons are be summoning. Like, so yeah, it's no, not at the Super Bowl. Like to me, it was really telling that Not Like Us was the thing that you're suing about the defamation in terms of UMG and Spotify. When I'm like, to me, that's what the general public ran with the narrative that was him calling him a PDF. When I listen to that song, there's enough argument. If I'm a lawyer, he talked about Baca, he talked about Party Next Door, he talked about all these different folks, and then he paints the picture, and the climax of that setup is certified lover boys, certified PDFs, plural. What you have done now is said, I'm calling all of these folks, which then represents the artwork with all of the dots on the house. So when you see people run with these narratives, I'm like, that's cool that's what you attach to. But if you got to prove that in court, you got to come with more than just, here he said, a minor, like, ain't no judge taking that in.
but let's be real. If he takes it to the court anyways, I'm gonna just be UMG and play Taylor Made and play the part where, hey, you play Tupac, telling Kendrick, go use that as a bar to get at him. He said, yo, call him a PDF. I heard it on Joe Budden podcast, so it must be real. You said it yourself, Drake.
Every line.
So it's like, why? That's the number one problem I hate with the Drake lasers. It's like they act like Kendrick is doing this all because he's hurt or whatever, but it's like, yo, fam, Drake started this shit. This is the second time Drake's talking. Yeah, this is the second time Drake's talked about somebody's girl, and I think he's regretting it. Stop
let it ring on you like Virginia Williams.
Stop bringing up these guys as girls. You're already smashing everybody's girl.
I'm way too famous. I'm way too famous to do things like that. Excuse me? Imagine being in an interrogation room and they say, did you do this? I'm way too famous to do that.
What? So you must
get you out of the handcuffs. So no, you're right. That's a good point. In that he set up all these lines, and he's the one that kept bringing up, because it's like, you understand when somebody does that, like you're showing an insecurity because you know that it's coming. Why is it coming? Why do you anticipate this happening? Why do you anticipate it multiple times, fam?
but then get mad when he says it and then start suing. I don't get it.
Don't you talk about my nose. Don't you talk about my nose. Don't you talk about my nose. Man, them nostrils big as hell. You talking about my nose. Like, when you the one brought attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, wait a minute. I got another theory. I love to get in my tinfoil hat. Don't forget the allegations that he made in some of the first few songs where he called Kendrick Lamar a domestic abuser.
Yep.
Don't forget about the allegations of him saying that his business partner, Dave Free, who I've known Dave Free for years. I've had the opportunity to work with him hand in hand for Ab-Soul's project Long Term 2, where I did the album cover and the title track. I used to work with him creatively for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know the character of these individuals, right? So for you to say that, I had to think to myself, okay, if he was, as Kendrick was saying in Whacked Out Murals, putting out money in the streets to get information, if I think Drake is who I think he is, where did he get this information from? And then I rewatched the video for We Cry Together.
On Mr. Morale.
On Mr. Morale, the same one he said, mother.
Oh.
I have a theory that he re-listened to that project for his ammo. He watched that video and said, look at the way they're yelling at each other. He must be an abuser. Like, it's so obvious. And plus, I haven't been transparent with you guys. I'm light skinned, so I speak fluent in light skin. So I understand the issues that are going on here. I can see it beyond the surface, unlike most people. But I speak fluently in light skin. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's a very light skin move.
You understand the beige?
The beige is. I'm fluent in beige, right? Fluent in beige. When I see these actions, I'm like, it's almost like your younger brother that lost their way. You're like, dog, get in the house, man. What are you doing, bro? Don't ever do that in front of no girls, bro. That looks bad.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, who can tell anybody anything when their name has been part of billions and billions and billions of dollars that have been generated? You've been dominating the game for 15 years, right?
Yeah.
But nobody's bigger than the program. Everybody at some point got to take their ball and go home. Everybody take L's, man.
Father time, bro. Father time
is undefeated. Too, yeah. But I think he sped it up.
But it's not really necessarily Drake per se, because it's, you know, like I said, he has a very, 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 very strong fan base. His fans are keeping him alive every day. Oh, he tops the Spotify charts, or oh, Nukia is one of the best songs, or you know what I'm saying? They're making his name alive, and I feel like, and I don't know Drake, I never met him, but I feel like he looks at these things and it gives him motivation to continue.
So then why do you think he cut his tour?
That I don't know. I don't even know why he would just not finish the last 4 dates.
So I heard through sources, I don't know how true this is, but there was something regarding the dates. So I guess he had like 4 dates and like he had to do 4 shows and like a few days, and like the days that he would do, he would have had to spend like 12 days doing nothing or some shit. So financially, it didn't make sense. Listen. This is just the first that I've heard.
You just said something. Now, you know, my pops is a psychology major. I always look for these things. You just said something. He would have had to do nothing for 12 days. What do you do when you have nothing to do? You think. And you think. And you think. I thought it was really interesting how quickly he jumped back on the road. I'm somebody that never forgets headlines, right? I remember an article where he said before all this battle kicked off, right? This is like towards the end of 2023. He said he wanted to take a break because he was having stomach issues. He was like, he needs to get off the road. Like, he's having physical issues. Mm-hmm. What did he do? He spent the block and went right back at it again, then jumped into one of the probably most stressful events of his entire life. With the guy he made fun of that has a size 7 shoe. I bet he remember this. I bet he remember that foot in the ass that he got. Mm-hmm. So for the last year, your entire life in existence, nobody can look at you and not think of this.
Fact.
Nobody. You can't even look at your cat. Kendrick turned your cat. I know Crody is a slang word. He turned that into something. You can't even flush your toilet because it plays Tupac. And Kendrick loves Tupac. Like, think about the psychological terror that can cause even just a normal person that's not that confident. That's enough to go crazy.
Or he's in the city and he hears Kendrick's song being played just randomly. Like, bro, what the fuck, guys?
You go on the elevator, there's a jazz version of Not Like Us. You go to church, they say they're not like us. They're not like us. You watch the news, the reporter is like, they not. This sounds like a Jordan Peele movie.
Oh shit, that probably is. That's a good idea. You should timestamp this, and you should just go send that to Jordan Peele. Be like, yo, I got a movie idea for you, bro.
He probably already doing it. He'll do a violin. He'll do that. He got it. He'll take care of it.
I want to talk on the culture aspect of it because I remember you guys were speaking and the company man brought up the fact that the new album, what is it called, Vegas?
Some Sexy Songs for You.
Apparently, you guys, it's being shipped out as for Toronto. Now, I want to say this is being shipped out for Drake fans, not Toronto. Majority of the album does not have Party Next Door on it. The songs that does have Party Next Door on it are, and it's like
the cover of the album is not a Toronto city, by the way. It's Mississauga. Just to let you know that. So
that's not a Toronto city.
I mean, it's in Toronto per se. It's like in the GTA, but it's in like the outskirts.
No, keep it real. Keep it real.
Y'all giving me too much. Y'all giving me too much ammo right now. I'm gonna close my ears. I'm gonna keep it real. It's
Mississauga is not Toronto. That's what they would say. You come down here, they say Brampton is not Mississauga. Mississauga is not Toronto. The photo of that is not Toronto. It's Mississauga.
That's facts too.
So,
Okay,
And hold on. And the last little
Yeah,
point
go
that I was going to put on the album aspect. How many Toronto artists are in there again?
just Party.
Just Party. So there's no,
I think there was another one. There's another cat
but there's
there
no
too.
press on there. Hoodlum's
No.
not on there.
No local acts.
No local acts. Not even the
No.
R&B acts. Not even the ones that are in the streets, right?
No. Yeah, no.
Okay, I'm just checking. Like there wasn't like a Via Mighty on there, Toby. Sorry, these are all Toronto artists that we like to just show shine to when they're around.
Look, don't apologize because I want to hear. I want to hear about those because when I think about this whole battle was one about culture. You brought up culture won this conversation.
Facts.
But it's not just Black culture, even though it was prioritized. It's not just, there's a reason why when you hear Not Like Us, I saw a group of Native American women that were dancing to Not Like Us. They get a different message than somebody in Saudi Arabia that has Not Like Us. There's a pride in who we are, the us, right? The us changes person to person. But there's people who might feel like, damn, we know what it feels like to have our culture colonized. We know what it feels like to not have a voice. We know what it feels like to not be in the forefront. And look at the underdog, even though he's one of the biggest artists in the game, the underdog going into this battle where they already counted him out after the first song, he went and then his celebration song was Not Like Us. There's a reason why a white weatherman is dancing to the song. There's a reason why everybody, I seen doctors who probably should have been saving somebody's life dancing in scrubs to Not Like Us. So I know what part of that is just the virality and some of it is internet culture, but he won this with culture. And when I'm telling you, if I had to leave it up to Drake, and this is just a completely fair argument, if I left it up to Drake, I don't know Canadian culture. All I know is 66666. I don't know anything about what it's like to grow up. And I'm being so real right now.
He's being 100%.
I'm not being no disrespect. I promise you. I don't know what it's like, except for like, even when they were saying like, you know, oh, this is kind of a Toronto type beat. I'm like, but for who? Because even out here in Cali, like you got different styles of producers. You got a DJ Mustard in the same city. You got a DiBiase who makes something completely different. Boom bap, a soulful 808, like not even 808, so soulful 8-bit type sounds. You got all these different styles, but it's not necessarily just the sound of the city. But the only representation that I've seen in this modern sense, right, has been a Drake. And I have not seen enough of him representing where he's from. That's what Kendrick's music is predominantly about. Somebody had a tweet. They said the biggest difference they saw between Kendrick and Drake has 1 million songs about himself.
Jeez.
Kendrick will tell you about his family, his upbringing, the people in his neighborhood, about his neighborhood, what it's like to drive in the neighborhood. He surrounds it. And then at the end of that, how it affected him. Good kid, mad city. So this was the thing where he's already had a reputation of prioritizing the stories of other people. Promise that you will sing about me. Dying. He'll tell other people's stories. Justin made a good point, even though I couldn't stand Tailor Made. He loves Tailor Made. He thought that was a brilliant idea. But he says one of the reasons why he liked Tailor Made by Drake was because that was the first time you really saw him trying to write from somebody else's perspective.
Trying to be creative.
That's
So that's one of my, I've been saying that too, because it's like, that was one of my favorite songs. It was the first time Drake got into the booth and like, yo, let's be creative. Let's try something that we've never done.
I got to work today. I got to good to get the pen going. I got to work today. Oh,
hey, listen, it was a great idea though, because he fooled me because I really thought that Snoop Dogg was on the fucking song. At first, I was just like, "Holy, this guy got Snoop to this Kendrick." I'm like, "Shit."
All I know is Drake never listened to a Tupac song a day in his life by that flow. He didn't give me not one Hennessy are my enemies. He didn't give me not one. I have this theory too. I think Reincarnated was part of that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5. I think that was one of them. Like, this is how you really rap like Tupac. You want to go 10? I think that had to be one of the 10. Or an idea like it, because he rapping so much like Pac. I did a remix of it. Like, I'm doing a whole GNX remix album of just doing the instrumentals. And I was going back to those lyrics. I'm like, dog, This is somebody who listens to Tupac, not peruses, not glances, not not just listens to California Love and like, yeah, I'm a Tupac fan. I know a lot about Tupac. No, this is somebody who goes deep into the catalog, even to the albums that were released after his passing. He did not. That was. But I will give him props that was the first time that it seemed like he was really writing from somebody else's perspective. It wasn't just me.
Right. No, that's dope.
Hold on.
But I want to
hold on.
Wait. Hold on. Before I'm sticking on this.
Okay, hold on.
I just want to ask you. You talking about the culture?
Yeah.
Is Canadian culture or Toronto culture or Ontario culture? Is Canadian culture something that you guys really want to see though?
We probably need a little break before, because it's gonna take some time. No offense. We're gonna need a break because of what that other man did. With the way that it don't feel like he's repping for y'all. It feels like he's dragging y'all into it because he's getting his back kicked in. There's a difference, right? Mm-hmm. I notice people in scenes like to talk about unity when nobody's supporting them. You know what I'm saying? Like when they be like, "There's no unity in the city." Are you saying that because there's no unity, or are you saying that because nobody's supporting you? So when I'm looking at this Drake situation, I'm like, you went to Australia. You sued and you went to Australia when the city needs they need your representation more than ever. Even if you don't agree with him, you don't feel like he represents where you're from. That's the biggest name right now. And in the name of the pride that you have, you get behind your guy. All right, we don't embarrass us. Just get out there and do it right. He left. I look at that and I say, I'm now more. I'm personally talking about me. I'm interested. I think there's some people who are writing off Canada because they don't realize like the history. What's my guy? Oh, I love you so.
Chaos.
You're a superstar. Chaos. Bro, when Coming Up was one of my favorite songs, had no idea what he was from.
Wow.
But what I'm saying is that when we see the connections that are there, when we see all the movies from the actors we enjoy, when we see the artists that have connections out there, we have a different perspective. I would say this. I appreciate what you guys are doing because now you have an opportunity to do what I'm trying to do here on the West Coast. You can't rely on Drake and anybody from over there to do this job. This is on y'all. This is on y'all. No matter what the numbers are, dog, I've sacrificed numbers for years to make sure that I supported West Coast artists out here. It's only now, because of the light that Kendrick shared, that I'm able to now bring names in and it's doing numbers. But people have a different appreciation because they know, you know what? No matter what, rain, sleet, or snow, Curtis is West Coast. Curtis represented for where he's from. Even though he don't sound like a lot of the artists, he represents where he's from and he wants to make sure people get these roses. I would say this. You got to make folks care again because the other guy did a number. He tried, but he did his number. And it's partly, in my opinion, playing cleanup, but then also too, it's not playing cleanup. You guys just got to take that light and shift it, because there's still a lot of people looking at seeing like, yo, this can't be the only narrative in Canada. This can't be the only narrative, but they're the loudest. So what y'all are doing, bringing up these names, even as I'm in here, I'm listening because if I see it again, I'll be like, yo, they brought that name up. It's on us. The day that I knew that I had to create a platform because nobody was going to come save me, because I was tired of kissing ass to get on, radio interviews, because I was tired of keeping contacts warm because people, and then get on the interview and they're asking me questions they could have Googled. I said, I got to do it myself. I have to do it myself. That's my brand, DIY. So now that I can do it myself, I'm like, oh, man, you should have never let me get in position because now I'm going to shine the light and do what some of y'all wouldn't do. So it's on y'all. I think we'll be very much interested. I'm interested now because I'm like, dog, y'all are the first people that I've talked to, aside from a video I saw where somebody had like a microphone and was going around, I forget what, I think it might have been Toronto. They was going around and asking their honest opinions about Not Like Us and all of this. And I was like, that's so dope to finally hear something out of this echo chamber that we've been in.
Going back to it, like the culture thing, because we seen Kendrick got a whole people from the pop out getting artists from all different genres, areas, whatever, and then even on the album putting guys like Lefty Gunplay on there and stuff. This is another thing that I've been preaching to Drake. Well, just saying that Drake needs to come back home. He needs to come back home, work with some of the artists and talent. But the problem is, the street culture is out here too. Like some of the most popping artists, they're in the streets. But my whole argument is, if Kendrick can do it in LA, what the fuck makes us think that Toronto street culture is worse than over there? Like,
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
the beef? I get it. People have lost lives over this. You know, mothers have lost their sons. People have lost their sons regardless. But it's like, is it really that serious where Drake can't put together an event and bring in these guys and be like, hey, I'm gonna pay you guys this, or a project,
Can
something?
I ask you this? Can I ask you this? Because you have perspective I'll never have. Do you think the majority of those artists want that at this point?
Yes.
Yes.
Hell
Yes.
fucking yes.
Yes.
Oh my God, they would die for a Drake cosign out here.
Even right now, we're thinking
Yes.
his brand is taking a huge hit. Even now,
Still, because there's
Yeah.
still guys in our city that still look at him like he didn't lose the battle. So it's
Yeah.
like, and going back to your
Yeah.
thing, right? I want to say the Pressa and Doobie thing happened during the battle, no?
Mhm.
I don't. I can't.
So the what did?
So there's two artists in Toronto, Pressa and Doobie. They're a part of two different sides.
Okay.
Not great sides. Drake pretty much, and I believe it was on Wheel of Hip Hop, where Drake put out he put out a comment and said, hey, you know, send out the stems or whatever, and I'll put the song together. But one of the gentlemen, he's locked up, so he said, hey, I'm gonna need 2 mil, and I'm gonna need like the rights to the song or something. And that was my problem: is why wait so long? Like, you waited until one of these guys are locked up, or Pressa is already in a position where it's just like, man, like a Drake feature, it'll do what it do, but like I still gotta get it. I feel like this, going back to the culture thing, is like, how would one put that together? Like, I don't know from behind the scenes how Kendrick got all these guys together, because I'm pretty sure there was people at the pop-up that were like, brother, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't get along with him, but I'll do it. Same thing with the album. I don't know if people were okay with Lefty Gunplay and were like, you know what? This is a bigger opportunity. So I'm wondering even if it's a Drake thing or if it's a Toronto mindset mentality thing.
I'll tell you this: to give you a more balanced idea of things, it wasn't unanimously everybody backing Kendrick. There was a time where Kendrick had to fight for the respect, because people had all of these issues with his voice. They had issues with who was he associated with. They had issues that he didn't work with this artist versus this artist. They had issues with TDE getting these looks. They had issues like that exists in the city. There's even another issue where, you know, and rightfully so, you know, the Stink team and Draco the Ruler, rest in peace, Draco the Ruler, they felt like a lot of their sound, a lot of Draco's sound kind of got used through some songs on Mr. Morale, some, of course, through Not Like Us. And there were folks who were like, yo, are you going to show love to this segment of the city? And then it came out that Kendrick, in the middle of all of his Easter eggs in the Squabble Up video, has a part where he's standing up here and then he kind of rolls his eyes like Draco the Ruler. And then the next scene, he's sitting in front of an RIP and a bunch, like a candlelight vigil. So that, like, the street politics make it really tricky. And also too, I'll give you another perspective. There were so many artists waiting for the opportunity for Dre or Snoop to pass the baton. But I think that they're underestimating, as much power as they have, they're underestimating, in order for them to be who they are, they got to go do the things that they do on a daily. And it doesn't include going and finding artists to go co-sign, right? So for a lot of us, we didn't know that. So a lot of us as artists out here, as an artist in that, I was like, man, like, that's the co-sign that can change everything. But Snoop is not going to, because he has his circle and all. He's still a very active artist.
Facts.
Dre's doing it. He's like, yo, he's a lab rat, right? He's always in the studio. So yeah, we had that kind of a situation, but don't get it twisted. It wasn't always unanimous love for Kendrick. There's a lot of people who have gone on record and been very critical of him that was out that pop out dancing. But you know what? In the midst of knowing that you're not bigger than the program, in the midst of like really gaining the respect that, damn, you really went through the trenches, you went through every step, did it the right way, and now you repping for all of us, and you coming back and bringing us into this. He had every right to do the pop out with him and Black Hippie and say F everybody else.
Facts.
He had every right, but he didn't. So what I'm saying is, you know, I also have a different perspective for Drake, where it's like, yeah, you may do that because it looks good in terms of the the PR. It's like a PR move. But is that truly what you want? Like, what do you want to benefit from it? Are you looking for the love from the city? Do you understand the cultural significance of having more than just an appreciation for you being our biggest artist, but like really being knee deep? Do you want to be next to us? Do you want to hang out with us like that? Like, these are questions that he knows the answers to. But moving forward, I think that's going to be a huge deal. But for some people, I wouldn't be surprised, especially the gangsters. They already said, yo, we're there's nothing he can do. There's nothing he can do. I'm sure a lot of up and coming artists are like, hell yeah, I'll take that feature. That's going to change my life. But I know there's probably some OGs that are like, we need to see some change behavior because you're still out here suing people. Mm-hmm. Like, how does any street dude stand next to him? And I don't want to get into the part. I don't know. It's none of my business. But when I look at Young Thug just came out of one of the longest trials in Atlanta history. And during that trial, what did they do? They brought up lyrics to try to get him out of here forever. Now you have a lawsuit that's bringing in lyrics.
That's crazy that you said that. That is crazy. Wow.
But money talk. I'll say that. He did get a cool little meal from Drake as soon as he got out. But it's like every OG ain't the same. Some OGs are just YNs. They OYNs. And then some OGs are legitimate. Like some folks are not OGs. They just get older. Right? Mm-hmm. Some OGs though are gonna stand on business and say, nah, I've been a part of this Canadian culture, this Toronto culture, way before he was even a thought. And if you want to do this right, you got to come correct. You have to be on code because you have stepped out and you violated multiple times. Look at how you got the city looking right now. Where are you at right now? That's what I would say. If I'm an OG in there, I'm asking those questions, and I'm sure the people are asking those questions.
So the OGs are not saying. The OGs are there.
It's only us two in the city that
really.
I swear to God. And after they see this, we were already talking. It's funny because I seen like the Joe Button and Julian. They're talking about the podcast trades. I've been asking to get traded because I don't feel safe in my city no more. I be keeping
you the only one, Gussie. I asked to get traded off the light skin team. I said, hey, can I get traded by like a darker complexion because I can't do this anymore. I can't keep reporting these stories. He got me very embarrassed. They're like, oh, you probably just like that. No, I'm not.
Listen, I told them trade me in Vegas for Poetic Flacco. That's what I was saying. I don't even like no Junker.
We'll take gladly.
I don't even like no Junker. And I'll go deal with Adam 22 and Whack. I'll go deal with them. You know what I'm saying? But I think
that'd be like the Luka Doncic trade right there. That'd be like I'm a Laker fan. I'd be like the Luka trade. We got away with one. We got a good one. It
might just be a Laker trade because the work that me and him could do too, it would be a problem. But yeah, it's the same thing. Like
I salute you guys, man. I salute you because one, you reaching out is the beginning of you don't need to repair anything because you didn't break anything. Okay? Like you don't need to repair anything because you didn't break anything. If anything, I would use Canada use Toronto and Canada being in the headlines for all of this negativity, leverage that, siphon that, and bring them over to the artists that you think deserve that platform. Because right now, you know, I remember the rapper Evidence said this one time. You got to learn how to put the vitamin in the brownie. Right now, the brownie is this beef, right? The brownie is all of the stuff going around. Kendrick Drake. That's the brownie. Mm-hmm. But look at the vitamins that we're able to. You and I are having a conversation. Y'all, where y'all from, where I'm from, we're having a civil conversation. And now my audience, who's just been, you know, trying to stomp Drake back in, much worse than I ever did, by the way, they're going to see this and be like, damn, this is the first time I ever thought about there being outlets out there that just don't rock with any of the stuff that they're seeing.
Mm-hmm. And that's on both sides. I'm over this shit. Like, I know I don't, well, you know what? There's two more things that I really want to get to. And it's one of them because I really feel like the Super Bowl was the time for Kendrick to be like, yo, this is over. You know, it's the graveyard, your tombstone. It was a wrap. But in my opinion, I feel like he didn't do that. I feel like he didn't bury him. I felt like, you know, I don't know if you watched wrestling.
Oh, he could have.
But I feel like it was like the Buried Alive match where it was just like the Undertaker like Drake is going to pop his hand out. Like that was your time to bury him. Now, I get it from a culture standpoint. ain't from the States. I'm not from California, so I'll never understand that true culture, like that impact. But it just felt off. Like you know, he kind of flustered some of the words. It just felt like,
oh, you say you? Oh, I thought you had a different perspective. Really, this is interesting. I haven't heard that. Okay.
So from my perspective, it was like again, the culture, everything he did, Samuel Jackson, cool. I didn't like some of the songs, but I get it from his. I heard DJ Head said he doesn't perform the same songs twice, so he's not gonna perform. All right, cool.
Also, he performed all right at the last Super Bowl.
At the last one, so yeah,
and he owns 7 of the 10 masters of the songs that he performed. Where no matter who feels what they feel about those songs, 2 things happen. One, he's gonna have generational wealth upon generational wealth. Facts. Because of what he did with those. He put those in his own pocket and catalog after he did it for Top Dog and the other. 2, would you really want somebody to become a Kendrick fan based upon him catfishing them into believing that he makes songs like Loyalty all the time? He gave you DNA. If you like DNA, oh, wait till you get to all these other songs. You're going to love what he does.
You see, but I'm a Kendrick fan, so I was waiting for like Money Trees. I'm not going to lie. Like, there were certain songs I was waiting for that I was like,
don't forget. It's a 13-minute moment. We getting ready to see a tour for the next 6, damn near, the 4 or 5 months where he's going to do all that. My thing is, on that stage, he gave so much in such a small amount of time. Do you remember how terrible halftime shows were?
Yeah.
How anticlimactic they were. Like it don't matter how big the artist is. Like it took, excuse my language, it took Janet Jackson titty coming out or being pulled away before he was like, oh. Why? Because if they're a lot of times they're lip syncing the songs, right? In 1992 or 3, New Kids on the Block and Disney hosted the halftime show. They didn't even air it. People had to watch it after the game.
That's crazy.
Guess what happened to Black Eyed Peas in 2012 or 2013? The criticism of their show, because all they made was hits. They put all their hits did not translate to a great live show. So when I look at the Kendrick thing, I'm like, dog, we've never seen anything like at the Super Bowl. That's already 1 win. 2, you're performing real Kendrick Lamar songs. And it's not songs that are not doing well in streaming. Like, there's still some of his top songs. 3, the last time he did that, he gave songs that Top Dog could eat off of predominantly. This one, he got songs that PG Lane could eat off of. And then on top of that, you gave a show. And you showed all these different segments of Black culture, different segments of the California culture, Bay Area, LA. Like, dog, my cup runneth over. Don't have me playlist nothing. I look at that and I say flawless execution, because we could have had worse. We could have had Drake and Auto-Tune singing lyrics he didn't write.
Listen, don't do that.
That was petty. Was that petty?
That was a little petty because let's be real. If Drake was up there, it would have still.
I'm working on myself. I'm sorry.
But again, to it was a Kendrick performance. Like the whole Samuel Jackson, him doing everything was a Kendrick. But him running down the stage doing Euphoria and forgetting some of the bars, I'm like, come on.
No, he didn't forget. I don't think the thing is, as a performer, he didn't forget no bars. Kendrick didn't forget no bars. That is called, I need to keep my air. He ran more yards than the entire Chiefs.
Facts.
Fam, at 40 years old, I go downstairs and I'm low-key out of breath, and I forgot why I came downstairs. He's running full speed at the biggest show of his life. Like, let's look at the human ass. I'm not making no excuses. Just think about this. At the biggest show of your life, somebody who runs 6 miles a day, according to him in that song. You trying to tell me all that adrenaline running through your body? I've done many of shows. I've done shows in front of 10,000, 20,000. Like, dog, I know what that, not that, I don't know what that looks like, feel like. But I've done shows. And the weirdest things happen. You'll get a sharp pain on your back, and all of a sudden, all your air is gone. You're like, yo, I don't even know the first line of my song now. When I see that, what I've learned, and I saw this after he started working with Dre, I think Dre instructed him, don't complete the entire bars because you don't leave enough air for you to do a flawless verse. He's been doing this even on the Mr. Morale show tour. He gives you enough words that string together what it is. Plus, the people who are fans are rapping the lyrics louder than him. They don't even probably even hear him. So
That's
I'm
right.
not making excuses. I'm just saying, as a live performer, that's the same thing I felt at the pop out. I was like, I think he legitimately did flub like a stanza in Euphoria. But this, nah, fam. As much as they rehearsed, he didn't. He is just from the schooling of, I need to make sure that I give the best physical performance as well, because people are going to remember that. If you listen to somebody did AI and got the acapella of it, flawless breath control. He just skips words on purpose to get to where he needs to get to. No backing track. How many artists have y'all seen? And this is in every scene. How many independent artists you've seen can't rap without their vocals behind them?
Vocals behind them. All
No,
of them. That's all of them.
And they still run out of breath. How you run out of breath and you got vocals behind you?
That's a fact right there. That's a fact.
That's 100%.
So I'm telling you, he did so much. He did so much good in my book. I respect your opinion. I just feel like he did so much good that it's like I can't even really focus on those things, because the other stuff, like, bro, like I seen teachers making lesson plans that were built around this 13-minute performance. Jeez. And finding symbolism and how you can utilize that. Like, this is something to where I'm like, dog, we got rap at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, never. And like a solo rap artist. Yes,
solo rap artist
came out there, whatever, but like that was him.
He got rap. Like he didn't. I mean, we got SZA for a little bit, and he did his thing with those songs, but we got rapping.
Yeah,
at the biggest game. Like to me, I look at that and I'm like, we won. Hip hop won that night.
Yeah, that's me being me again, because I didn't want all the stars.
No,
I wanted my money trees. I think because I'm such a J-Rock fan, like I'm just like, yo, I wanted money trees, like, or
that was my thing too. I wanted to see Black Hippie there. But then I just thought about like,
it's not your moment. It's not your moment.
but even then, like he's still a business. And you get ready to go on tour. You probably want to showcase in front of an audience of people who the cheapest ticket is $3,000. First of all, most of them, I'm sure, didn't come for a Kendrick Lamar concert. That's why they had Chiefs jerseys on and Philadelphia Eagles jerseys. I'm sure a good chunk of them did, but most of them came because it's the Super Bowl. No matter what happens, it's the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So I don't think he was performing for them. I think he was performing for the people that's like, he probably ain't going to do DNA. He probably not going to do Euphoria. He did that, and then the last song before TV off, he marked him out on national TV. Do you know that would never be done again?
Ever.
Word.
I think in 2055 there's going to be a rapper named YN.exe. Okay, YN.exe, and he going to try to start up a debate. I'm having a better run this year than Kendrick. This is why I do the video content I do. We need to document all of this. This never been Lil YN.exe. You are not having a better run. I said this in 2025. You are not having a better run than Kendrick. Hey.
So hold on, really quick. Did you think he was gonna perform Not Like Us, or it was in your back of your head like, will he really not?
I started feeling unsure how much of it he would perform. I knew he would perform at least the chorus. When the 50 Cent thing came out and he had the op list on Big Boy Radio, I was like, oh, maybe that's why he's trying to get ahead of it. But the moment I saw at the Grammys, Lucien Grange, right, head of Universal, high-fiving Dr. Dre, I said, oh, they have no fear in their bones about this lawsuit. He's performing that song. Then the next day, after he won 5 Grammys. 5 Grammys.
Sweep.
The NFL says, don't forget, halftime performance is going to be Kendrick Lamar. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. I said, oh, he's performing that song. I didn't think he's going to do that verse. And boy, oh boy, like it was so crazy that John Stockton, who got name dropped in that song, doesn't even realize it's a diss to Karl Malone. He said, man, and the rapper guy, Kendrick Lamar, shouted me out at the Super Bowl. Do you understand? He said, I'm about to pass on his body. I'm John Stockton. He's passing to Karl Malone.
And we know about Karl Malone's kid.
He got some suspect things on his. He didn't even realize that. He's just like, Kendrick Lamar shouted me out at the Super Bowl.
Bro, I didn't even realize that. I totally forgot about that.
I didn't even know Stockton seen that and bigged him up. I didn't even see that. That's crazy.
Because there's people right now who are getting interviews who haven't talked in years, right? And to me, that's one of the, like, it's a pro and a con. Because John Stockton been saying some crazy stuff over the last few years. If you've been paying attention, ever since 2020, he's been wilding.
Oh my
But
God.
but I'll say this: the artists that I've been able to bring onto my platform. Yesterday, I had an artist named Maestro, one of the greatest lyricists I've ever heard in my life. And Kendrick shouted him out at the Grammys. I had my guy Good Luck. Like, the fact that I'm sitting there and I'm able to showcase these folks who maybe a year ago on my platform, maybe it does like 100, 110 people. The fact that I'm able to bring them in there and folks are like 700, 800, 900 people want to hear their story. Oh, dog. For a West Coast kid like myself, that's like one of your OGs in the game, and you're able to bring them on and then put them on to like everybody from the States, everybody from everywhere else. Like, that means something.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, yeah, I think that y'all got a responsibility, and I think y'all are doing it really, really well. It's just a matter of like continuing to like reach out. You see, you talked to Loose Cannon. That's dope that you did that. You're doing what a lot of folks out there, I'm sure, are afraid to do because they're kind of teetering the fence. Like, oh, I don't want them to not mess with me, and I don't want to. We got to do that. We have to reach out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
And we don't care too. Like, we don't give a shit. If they don't like us, they don't like us. We don't give a fuck. We're gonna do what we do regardless. So
Exactly. I do have one last question for you, Curtis. You said you were 40 years old. I'm backchecking. I'm 42, 41, 42, but I'm 40 as well. What makes you keep going? Because me and Gussie be on some like, bro, like, we out of here in 2-3 years. We doing something else. Like, what makes you like? What makes you want to continue, or do you have a plan that you're going? Like, do you have a time to stop and do something else? Like, what's your plans for the future as a 40-year-old guy? You know what I'm saying?
Wait, that's the last question.
No.
I
got some more.
I'm about to say we're not
got
talking
some
about
more.
no crash outs. We're not gonna talk about no crash. I was like, damn, what kind of
I got
y'all
some
surprised
more.
me. Okay, yeah. So for me, what keeps me going is one, being a father, being a husband, and knowing that I took my family from a 600 square foot apartment to a home that we rent, a 5-bedroom home. And I don't say that to flex. I say that to say that there's a kid in me that remembers sleeping on the floor, a kid in me that remembers, a teenager remembers being on people's couches, that remembers that when I got $100, that felt like I had money for a lifetime, right? Knowing that I did that the hard way, that took the long route. I did content. I made music that didn't always sound like quote unquote West Coast music. I did the music that I always wanted to do. And I made the relationships I made. I got the placements I made, really just getting out here and doing it myself. That already shows me that anything can happen in a year, right? But at 40, bro, I got such a new like resurgence of energy because I've been waiting on a time period like this where the West Coast got this light. I've been waiting on a time period where I could host a platform, but I had to go build it. It took me 10 years to build my platform on YouTube. Now what I'm looking at is, one vision that I always have, and I got this from an event that I went to. Never lose touch with the older version of yourself that's going to look back on what you're doing today. If you could walk into a house, identify the room that the older you, let's say 70 years old, is sitting in that house, and how do you envision that person looking? Are they bitter? Are they excited? Are they lively? Are they depressed? Well, guess what? Everything that you're doing today is going to determine how they're going to be that day. So I always keep in touch with the older version of me and realize I got to get it while I still can. And so every day I get up, new content. Every day I get up, new content. Seeing the ad revenue go up is definitely very encouraging, right?
Yeah.
I've already gone through all the dark years, bro. Like, I've gone through the darkest of years. I've gone through not having nothing. I've gone through doing video content when I'm getting evicted. I still did videos in my car. You feel me? Like, for me, it's like, nah, like, I didn't come this far just to come this far. But I also recognize this, and I'll share this with you. To me, it's the most manliest thing, the most grown man, grown woman thing to do, to know when it's time to quit.
Facts.
Right? So I appreciate you even acknowledging, because sometimes we need to quit. Don't give up, but we need to quit. Because I tell you right now, Governor Newsom, the governor of California, has been investing money into a railroad system from LA to the Bay. And it's run into all kind of issues because they can't get it around the mountain, dump hundreds of millions of dollars into it. and kept going because he didn't want to take a L. Muhammad Ali, when he should have been retiring and he tried to box one more time, the boxing commission said, we can't approve a fight. He said, cool, I'm going to go to Puerto Rico. He went to Puerto Rico. The staff wasn't sufficient. The medical staff wasn't sufficient. The gloves were thin. He got into a fight that damn near could have been a fist fight. And then look at his condition, because he could not give up, because everybody knew him as Muhammad Ali the boxer. So what I'm saying is, the reason why I don't lose any steam is because I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. This is my purpose, right? This is my purpose, and I knew what to quit. And I stood on that. So that's what keeps me going, is knowing, like, my little boy don't know quit. My little boy look at me and be like, what you doing? You working? Okay, go get it, daddy. All he know is Disneyland. All he know is new food. All he expects me to get that food. And okay, say less. I look at him, I know what I gotta do every day.
So I love that kind of talk right there. That just gave me a little woo.
Come on.
I love hearing that.
And I got this on my wall. You think I'm gonna let Kobe? Kobe look at me crazy? Rest in peace. I could just look at this and be like, man, get that off the wall. You ain't about this. But then also too, I don't say that. I gotta say this. I also have fallen in love with sleeping. I didn't always used to love sleep. I love sleep now. So
yeah, me too. I love sleep.
Man. You got to recharge yourself, bro. Like you wouldn't walk around here with a battery on 10% all day long. You wouldn't be able to.
Let's talk about my old boss, our old boss, man.
Oh, here he goes. Here he goes.
Oh yeah, we never talked about that yet.
We kind of dibble-dabbled in it, but
like we was getting ready to get to the end. I was like, really? That's what you?
Yeah, I might have to put that part to the end and just.
Because we just having great conversations. That's what we do with people, man. But Monday is crashing out, allegedly. Monday is not looking good.
We call him Monday because Monday is the worst day of the week.
Yeah. No. What I did notice that he the United Coach United was on a Friday. He crashed out on a Wednesday. He crashed out again on a Sunday. I made a video on Monday. I said, what in the Craig David is going on here?
No, but shout out Friday. But
Friday's good. Regardless, listen, out of all the shots.
No disrespect. There's no disrespect. We just need to figure out what the hell is going on, because everything was good on Friday.
It was all good just a week ago,
Everything was good just a day ago, bro. We left that Coach United. Everybody was like, man, I was good, man. I really appreciate you standing on business. Man, respect to you. Yeah, everybody walked out the door, got their bags, got their jackets, and something just happened. Well, I don't know what happened.
So then I guess, I don't know. But he went on to say, at first he wanted to shit on the people. I always take these as shots at me. I don't give a fuck. But he commented 4 days ago on his Twitter like, yo, I had a great week. How about y'all? Mm-hmm. And I guess that was maybe after you guys did the conversation. And then same day he said, I don't give a fuck where I'm from. I know what I'm talking about too. Canadian or not, my thoughts on my debate with DJ Head, Kendrick's DJ, which he's not Kendrick's DJ.
No, where you get like see, this is how bad some people want clicks. They will find any way to bring Kendrick's name into the clicks. You notice that? They'll force it. They'll be like, interview today with a plumber who's a sister of somebody that saw Kendrick Lamar at the grocery store one time. Like, you are reaching. We know damn. I mean, he's DJ'd for TDE before, but he's not. He's his own entity.
We got our own video too, remember? Like, yo, Kendrick's cousin got beat up. Somebody sent it to us too, and we're just like, but like, which cousin? Like, how do we even know it's his? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Come on, man.
So I guess this was the time in the stream, and this is pretty much his reaction video of breaking down the stream, which he said whatever he said. He kept going. The next day he said, y'all have to call me a bias or an OVO glazer. You see a bunch of OVO artists interviews in my catalog, ? Gambling ads and a bunch of Drake likes on my post. No, so why the F would I be biased or even look like I'm glazing? Open your eyes, people.
Where did that come from? I'm legitimately asking, what happened? Did somebody get a call? Did the bat phone ring? Like, what happened? What is going on? Because it just came out of nowhere. And I'm like, I know we live in a time where, you know, it used to be cream was cash rules everything around me. Now it's clicks rule everything around me, right? Clicks.
Click,
The views, like, you know what I'm saying? I get that part of the game, but it's like, why now? And I'm telling you, the thing that I thought was very interesting is that he didn't at DJ Head. He hashtagged him. But he added Kendrick Lamar. Hold on, but he added Kendrick Lamar, who's never online.
I remember you said that on your breakdown. That's so funny.
So it's funny because I think he,
12?
did he take? I think he took that one down because that one where he added DJ, or he didn't even hashtag him. Like, I'm trying to look for this one.
No, he hashtagged him in the first one I saw. He might have edited the post. You know, nowadays you gotta look at that edit post to see if that happened.
Well, he might have did that because the only thing I see here when I was trying to go through it is he said, anytime y'all tell me you not like us, just because Kendrick said that to Drake in a song, it proves just how divided we are as black people. As if you can only be FBA. Yo, understand the black struggle, emoji. Most ignorant shit I've ever heard. And then he said, hey, Kendrick, next time you diss a rapper, let's try not other a whole country. Did he mean other or ether?
No,
you
other.
really mean other? Other a whole country with
like,
black
people. Other the whole, yeah.
Oh, okay. And country with black people and culture too. You literally created the most divisive song in history. Divisive song in history.
But then can we also highlight that after he said this is the most divisive song, he then proceeded to go to the internet the next day and start a poll that says, who do you think, whose fan base is more toxic, Kendrick's or Drake's?
And people voted for Drake. More people voted for Drake. But then,
my point is, if you're concerned about unity, why would you ask such a dividing question on Twitter?
Sure, yeah, Twitter of all places too. But then it got me thinking though, what is the most divisive song in rap though? Like, if you really think about it though, what is the most divisive song?
I gotta go to Tom McDonald for some of that. That song where he brought out Roseanne had me a little bit divided.
Tom McDonald's from Vancouver, no?
I think he well, I know you definitely from Canada, but like,
yeah, you from Vancouver. That's the one I was been telling you about, Vegas. Tom McDonald, and I couldn't figure out his name at the time.
Oh yeah, he's from he's from British Columbia.
Yeah, same place.
My thing is this: in order for a song to be divisive, there has to be unity on some side. So this idea of a divisive song sounds like, I don't know. It what is it dividing? Is it dividing people who have a certain type of ethic, a certain type of belief in what hip hop sounds like, a certain belief in what music sounds like? Have they already not been divided by genre or subgenre? Like, what is a divisive song? When you really, I'm just putting this out in the air. Like, I'm thinking about this out loud. I'm like, what is a divisive song? I know a racist song. I know a song that is, disrespectful and demeaning to women. But who does it separate them from? People who feel the same way as the song? All I see across the board are a bunch of folks who are unifying behind their culture. No matter what that is. Like I said, there was a Native American women that were dancing to the song. Like, they're finding their unification, their tribe. Everybody has a tribe.
Yeah.
Everybody has a tribe except for narcissists.
And even them. Even them has a reason to even say something like that too, right?
So no, because the us is me.
Okay, yeah, okay,
You know what I'm saying? Like a narcissist who thinks that the world revolves around him.
Yeah.
But you know what though? But you know what? You know who I think have the biggest issue with this song? Narcissists.
Damn.
If you ask me, and this is just my opinion, these are not the opinions of Demand Him podcast, okay? I think that Drake has made an amazing soundtrack for narcissistic men.
Jesus Christ.
I think he's made a soundtrack that made them feel like they're not in the wrong for drunk texting their ex who's in a relationship. I think he's made songs that made them feel like my story and my story only is important than any other story I tell. And even when I tell the story from a woman's perspective, I have to remind you how it hurt me. Am I lying?
No, you ain't. You ain't. Because let's be real. Because if it was anybody else rapping this shit, they would be saying, "Yo, this ain't cool. We ain't rocking with this shit." But for some strange reason, he can get it by. I don't
If
know
he was
how.
ugly, they wouldn't get that. He wouldn't last 2 seconds. They would
Pause.
cancel him
He wasn't
in
the
3
cutest nigga
seconds.
coming up though. Like pause. You know what I'm saying? It took time to get him to where he
I ain't
was.
got
Like
nothing to do with
somebody.
that. I got nothing to do with
I'm
that.
gonna be
All I'm saying,
real,
look,
man.
look,
I'm gonna be real. I
look.
used to
He
watch
just
the
thought
black.
a beard fit him better.
I don't know, man.
I think. What about Future then? Future's kind of similar to Drake in the narcissism aspect of my collection. Even though you're part of my collection, like
Yeah,
that's not.
but you know what? You know what Future doesn't do? He doesn't teeter the fence. Future is toxic
Yeah,
in every
100.
capacity that he's at. If you ask him a question about some weird, some not weird, but some toxic things he did, he'll be like sensational. Drake, With the problem with Drake is that when he gets on some of these late night shows, he loses that Naga enemy. He's like, yes, I had a fantastic time drinking spritzers with my friends. Can I tell you about my childhood? He code switches. He gets around the man. He gets around man them. All of a sudden, all of the accent starts coming out real strong. It's like a politician. People hate politicians.
We loved Rob Ford.
That was it though.
Yeah, I guess.
But he's right though, because if you look at it, the one clip I always see that's getting popped up now is Drake trying to see why the streets rock with him. He's like, yeah,
You saw that clip?
my dad.
Yeah, we saw that.
We saw my dad get arrested at the border. Da, 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 da. I'm like, nigga, what?
What are you doing? That like my thing is you're saying that, and I had a thought. I was like, you gonna have people from your hometown looking at you stupid. Like, what are you talking about? That's what connects you to the hood. And this is where I have a problem. This is where I start to see this is a pattern. It is a pattern. If he believed that at that young age, before he got the cosigns from all the Atlanta artists and different places he went to, that means that he might have started to believe the Kool-Aid that he was drinking. He believed that it was actually Kool-Aid. He went into these areas and he was like, nah, like what Kendrick said, you really believe you was a slime in your head.
Mm-hmm.
When they circle, you in these, like, you know what I'm saying? You in some of these hoods, and you like the game brought you out here and told you good. You might start really feeling like, damn, I got nothing but love when I go to these places. Maybe I am that.
So going back to our guy here Monday, I'm looking at it. I really do think that he took down the post with DJ Head. I don't see it here. It keeps going. OVO does not send their artists to us for interviews, so let's get that debate. They don't. I will say that. That's a problem though. Like, I don't know why they don't spread out or push their artists more, but that's Vegas' thing. Never signed to an artist.
Never do that.
Yeah, how the fuck do I do
not an active artist for sure? Not.
Facts. Yeah, so he says salute to AD. We discussed the importance of peace last year. The legend Glasses Malone, he put that his interview up with him. Yeah, it seems like he might have took that down. I don't know I don't know if DJ Head's little henchman got to him, or the K-Bots got to him. I don't know, but
my thing is I did notice a pattern, and I have to acknowledge this because I think we're talking as content creators to content creators, right? Mm-hmm. I have to say this. I understand that it's so tempting to throw your hat in and cause chaos. It's so tempting to put your hand in the water and shake up the fishes and just watch them move. You just got to make sure that you're prepared to stand on whatever you said. I put up a video yesterday with it's a dude with a Laker jersey, and he got a wrapper on his head, and he made the point that Drake fans are Drake fans first. Kendrick fans are hip-hop fans that are Kendrick fans after, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the biggest disconnect, is that they are crashing out. The bots, whatever, they're crashing out in the name of Drake and Drake only. They're not trying to keep some culture alive. It's just Drake is the religion. Mm-hmm. He is the religion. That is part of the problem. My thing is this. There are people that look at Friday as a reputable source from where he's from. They look at him as like, you know what? You do give a very balanced point of view. unbiased doesn't exist. First of all, I don't believe in unbiased news. It just doesn't exist, right? Everybody got some special interest in what's going on.
Facts.
Everybody has an opinion too, right? A certain tone that they speak about certain things, who they choose to cover over who they choose not to cover. Unbiased doesn't exist. Balance does exist. I learned that from my guy Justin. With him, I think that's why he got invited to the Culture United, because it was like, at least he's able to listen to some common sense and be like, I don't agree, but I know why you may feel that way. Or, you know what? I never thought about it like that. Let me give it some more thought. The moment he got on that microphone and started doing that, I think that either he was on a mission for rage baiting, or he saw when he shared certain artists and some of the things that were going on at home, it didn't get the same love, or the same, I shouldn't say love, the same engagement as when he said that dividing thing about Kendrick.
But it didn't, because he reposted the same thing on Instagram and it didn't get the same love. But
it didn't get the same attention,
yeah, it didn't get the same attention. So,
and then therefore proving the point of not like us. Think about that. You're proving the point of not like the people who have an issue with not like us are not like us. I put y'all in the us category because we love hip hop. I put us in the category because we love independent and showing love to the independent artists. We want to highlight and platform them. We want to make sure that our culture is represented because we care. We're the us. No matter where we're from regionally, we're the us. I think what's happening, and it's not just Drake or whatever, dog, it's happening in the States too.
Mm-hmm.
There's folks looking at Snoop a little different, like, are you us?
Wow.
Because of the way these things are playing out. You posted TaylorMade? After you passed the baton to Kendrick, you posted Taylor. Why you do that? Wayne, this is somebody who's called you his favorite rapper, Kendrick, since day one. He didn't have to get signed to do that. He called you his favorite rapper. He quoted you. He said, please don't retire, Wayne. He was rapping for about an hour and a half drunk Lil Wayne lyrics because of how much he supports Lil Wayne. And Lil Wayne did this whole passive aggressive campaign. It's so disappointing. That's what I mean when I say, and I've heard D1 say this, some of our rappers don't become OGs, they just get older. Some of them are OYNs. When I saw Wayne say, I'm not gonna be at the Super Bowl, but I got an announcement that I want to make to y'all. Okay, this is weird. Why would you try to hijack the conversation about Kendrick? And the next announcement was, make sure if your hands are dry, you use Cetaphil. So it can never be a US versus Canada conversation. That's what the people who are not part of us, that's the problem with the folks that are not like us. They look at this and see it's divisive. No. You're not included because you never wanted to be included. You wanted everybody to just circulate around you and celebrate you because you think you're bigger than the program.
Well, of course, that's what happens when you have somebody that's a content creator that's from somewhere else, but they claims that they're from Toronto. I mean, shit.
Okay, Gutsy. So, yeah.
What, am I lying? Is he from here or is he from somewhere else?
Politics. It's not my politics. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Let me not. But Freddy's not from Toronto originally.
I was making love on Tuesday, and we were making love on Wednesday, and on Thursday and
Saturday. And okay, so Curtis, you have a great point. Like, we got to figure out what the fuck is the divisive explanation to the tweet. And I think once we figure that out, then we'll understand what his shit means. But at the end of the day, that tweet was totally left. It's still up, by the way. I found it.
Oh, you found it?
Tweet, yep, I found it. The tweet is still left. It's weird.
What is this? So say it. Right over here. Shit, we here.
Hey, Kendrick Lamar, next time you diss a rapper, let's try not to other a whole country with black people and culture too. You literally created the most divisive song in history. Thanks.
I did say that, but but he also had another one that was for DJ Head.
Yeah, he might have deleted that one. That's in my video.
There's another.
It's my video, but my thing is this. Let's go with that narrative for a second.
I don't give a fuck where I'm from when I'm talking about to Canadian or not. My thoughts on the debate with DJ Head. Not that one, right?
Yes, that one. That's the one. That's the one.
Okay.
One.
Well, my thing is this. Let's go with that narrative. This is a divisive song. Who does it divide?
Yeah.
And were those people the problem I think would happen with hip hop, bro, is that we got way too comfortable. And some folks who were in power got way too comfortable being gatekeepers. They got way too comfortable being in a position to where they could never be told wrong. If you stepped out of line and called them anything, you got blackballed or soft blackballed, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happened with Not Like Us is that people didn't have to expose them; they exposed themselves.
Facts.
Because when you looked at that and you're like, yo, you don't understand that this is bigger than just a diss song. If the only thing you took from that, if you walked from that song and you didn't feel anything was shifting in the culture, if the only thing you took from that is, oh, he called them a PD, he called them boys PDFs, oh, you don't have a good understanding of culture or hip hop. But we're talking about an audience over the last 15 years who has been under a regime that hasn't prioritized that.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't prioritize even writing his own lyrics. Not to say he didn't write anything. He didn't prioritize some of the core values of being an MC, a lyricist, a rapper in hip hop. I know it's mainstream rap. I know it's a business. I know it's corporate. But Kendrick was never bigger than that program. Cole was never bigger than that program. Push is never bigger than that program. But I do think it's interesting that you see two crash outs in the same year from Drake, and you see it from Kanye.
Yeah, I know.
And if you remember when Drake did that conversation with Elliott Wilson, the Crown interview, where he was like kind of passively aggressively dissing Kendrick about the controllers, you know what he also said at the end of that clip? Man, so days I just wake up and I just ask myself, man, how can I be as great as Kanye West? They see each other in themselves. That's why they didn't get along. Two narcissists that see each other, they can't be in a room for a long period of time. That's just how I'm reading it. I don't know these human beings. I don't need to. I've heard enough stories. I've seen enough people that have worked with them. And the thing is, when you've been around a narcissist, we're all on the narcissistic spectrum at some level. There's just some people who are extremely on it. When you've been around that, I've been attacked by narcissists. My name's been dragged in the mud by narcissists, and I realize that they attract to people who are empaths, people who like give energy. They just absorb it all. Drake is around a lot of people who are doing nothing but giving him energy. Tell me I'm wrong. Like tell me when I'm talking out of turn. I can read that a mile away, and I think that's the problem. Is he's been able to still maintain his reputation because nobody could see him except for those that worked with him. Kendrick saw him and put that vision on Front Street. And I think for the first time, he felt naked. Like the king's clothing, he felt naked. And that's why we've been seeing this spiral over the last year. He's been naked out here. That's just the way that I look at it.
No, I think you're right.
I hope it opens up Toronto's eyes, though, because for the longest time, actually since this battle started, I want to say there is a culture conversation over here that what's Toronto's culture? What's Toronto's sound?
Yeah.
And it's like, I hope now we can actually provide it in the next couple of years, because I feel like Toronto doesn't have a sound. Like when Drake started his rise to fame, it's not like a whole bunch of Toronto artists copied his style. It's not like they copied the beats he was doing or started rapping and singing. They all just kept doing their own thing. So I hope, I wanted after this beef to happen where Toronto was just like, hey, we really don't have a culture when it comes to this hip hop thing. We really don't have a sound when it comes to the hip hop shit. And it's like, I get shitted on for it all the time, but
you want to answer how this is going to have to happen?
Yeah.
You may not like this, and I'm going to be called divisive, and I'm going to warn you now when I say this.
That's fine.
You can't have the crown be handed to you. Somebody out there needs to stand up. There's an artist out there who is listening to me right now. Right now, the perception is that everybody's going along for the go along with what Drake does. The perception is that maybe some of y'all are even afraid of the regime because of what it could mean, the implications of it in the streets and all these different things. Somebody has to step up and say, I don't fuck with this. This is the real Toronto. But I think the problem is, and it's the same thing that happens in any segment of hip hop. Hip hop is competitive. And somebody got to step up and say, nah, you repping a city wrong. This is the real Toronto. And it's got to be a combination of not just a rapper dissing him for clout. No. there's a window of time that could have happened. Like I'm looking at it happen with Joey Badass right now. Joey Badass said that line about it's too much West Coast D-licking. He had people from New York dissing him. You know why? Because they said, you don't even live here. You moved out the city.
It was also because he was claiming to be king of New York. And it's like, nigga, come on.
That's what I'm saying. It needs to be somebody who really has that support, somebody who has that pedigree, somebody who has that, like, no, I make great music too. Somebody got to, the crown is not going to be handed to you, especially when it's had the support of a UMG and the machine. But I'm telling you, somebody needs to be very visible. It needs to be a combination between the artist and between somebody in YouTube to platform it. And you got to everybody has to get behind either this artist or some other artists that represent the other side of things. Right now, it seems like people are only and from my vantage point, I don't know any politics out there. It seems like people are supporting what gets the views.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's facts.
That's the only thing niggas care about out here.
The numbers.
The underground rappers will tell you, hey, the blogs are not posting us. Motherfucker, why are you not worried about the radios not posting you? Why are you not worried that these states guys ain't posting? Who do you give a fuck about the blogs?
I go another step forward because I'm an independent artist that I'm an advocate for artists, but I'm also very critical. You have the entire internet in front of you. There was a point in time where if you didn't get on Two Dope Boys in the 2013-14, you didn't get your music heard.
That's facts. Two Dope Boys is hard.
Like, you still waiting on people to post you, dog. You can get on Instagram for free every day. You can put up as many posts as you want every day, and algorithms will work in your favor to put you in front of at least one person. That's a lot more than you had when you were sending these emails. Tyler, the Creator, sent out emails to Two Dope Boys and they wouldn't post them. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what I'm saying. It's got to be somebody that comes up that has that energy that's universal. Somebody who's obviously came from the environment that'll make a Kendrick say, "Oh shit, who is this?" Not because he's a cosign, but because he represents the us that happens to live in Canada.
It might not be like one person. It could be a collective.
I can see that.
Like if there's just a collective of artists just standing up and being independent, like a No Limit, but it's like the whole of the city just supporting each other and rising up and building these media and building this this culture. I think that's what it is. Like we said, the culture is missing here in the city. We have history.
Yeah.
We have Toronto rap history. There's history from the 80s to now, but the culture is missing. The Toronto culture. And I feel like it's a collective of people that has to create that culture for the future in order to get the world to be like, whoa, these guys are problems out there. We need to go over there.
And maybe it's not just a younger artist. Maybe it's one of the OGs that reemerges and uses his opportunity to be like, Betty ain't gonna say nothing about me. Because a younger artist has come up in the last 15 years. Like if you've been alive 15 years, you've been under a Drake regime the entire time, right? In some capacity. But if you're an OG that's like, nah, this is how I stand on it. And I make some amazing music. And I'm gonna speak in these interviews and I'm gonna say what I'm saying. Like I tell you this, if somebody with the energy of a La Russell existed in Toronto, it'd be a rap.
I talk about that guy all the time. I talk about fam. That guy is like my favorite artist. Not musically, but the way how he puts his music out, the backyard stuff. Like that guy's such an independent artist. It's crazy why these guys don't replicate him. It's crazy they don't copy him and Russ.
But
him and Russ to me are the greatest independent artists right now.
Think about what you just said. He doesn't even have to make music that you like. And he has that impact on you. Imagine if that was at the house. Imagine if that was on your home turf. How easy is it to get somebody like, and beyond his music, beyond his residency shows, all the stuff he does for this community, they're gonna love him forever. He can't do no wrong, right? Like going in and buying out a restaurant, and it's not like he's some 100 millionaire. The dude goes into a restaurant and buys out the restaurant for the day and then says, come into this restaurant and pay what you want. If you only got $2 for a $12 burrito, it's already taken care of. Pay what you want, right? He goes in there into a barbershop and says, I'm going to pay for barbershop. I'm going to pay whatever your price is. Like whatever you make in a day, I'm going to cover that. You decide if you want to accept payment or if you want to pay what you want. Those kind of things are impacts that people feel beyond you making hit songs. It only lasts for so long. People remember how you feel more than what you said. Maya Angelou said that. And I think we're living in a time now where politics is wild. The time we're living in is wild. Like the time out of 2020 is wild. It's not the same world that it was before 2020, bro. And I think a lot of folks are living in that same bubble of before that because they've been rich the whole time. But I'm telling you, man, it would be so easy to get behind an artist that's like a Lil Russell that's happened to be for the city right now. And I know it's somebody who's listening right now. I know it's somebody who knows somebody that's going to show them this video. That's how you do it. Because if Drake can't get his act together and he's had ample opportunity, somebody from the city should be the one that does it. But we got to see the difference. From the States, we don't see a difference. I don't know the difference. I don't know the distance between Vancouver and Toronto. Mm-hmm. I don't. I just, you know what I'm saying? Call it what it is. But this is where it needs to be like, no. This is the real Toronto.
No, he's right. It's so crazy, man, because it's like everything that you're preaching right now is like, we're going to have to really just shake the shit up this year. Like, we're really going to have to, because I even feel like we might have to wait a couple of generations. Like, we still support when we feel like.
I don't think so. I really don't think so, bro.
You think it still might be there? I don't know, because in my opinion, it's just like,
now
if you look
is
at
the time. It has to happen now. That's why I'm bringing this message to you. It has to happen now, because there are people that I know are terrified to try to move in that position. I know he got his goons. I know he got his connections and all these different folks in different places, right? Or what I've heard or what that. They got to stand on it. It has to happen in moments like this where a regime is vulnerable. Because if you wait too long, he'll get back into a position where, now he's cutting you a 360 deal because he needs you. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you don't wait to that time. You got to go get it. And if he's really who he says he is, he's not going to let it happen. But if this is happening right now where he's like, I've heard, people rumored that he's ending the tour early, saying it's the tour issue, but he's really just overwhelmed. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing rumblings that he's really just overwhelmed. And my thing is this, I try to look at the human aspect of it. I know I have a lot of jokes for that guy. This has got to be the worst year anybody has had in this business because of how far he had to fall from the top. Go take a fucking break, bro. Like you've done nothing. You ever see that? You ever see a video, like a funniest home videos where somebody's falling on the ice? They just won't fall. That has been him over the last 8 months. Just fall. People love you more when you're an underdog and you're a comeback story, not when you sue people on the way out.
Didn't I tell you this? This is the same shit with Moolah, him. It's just like, just take, and two, your fans have never experienced that.
Yeah,
you've been for 15 years. You've been the guy. Your fans have never gotten a chance to be like, yo, I want some new Drake. Like, can we wait for some new Drake? Yo, I can't wait for new Drake because as soon as he drops, it's tour, then right back to new music or working with somebody. It's never, yo, I'm just gonna give you guys some time to just breathe off me for a little bit, and then go work on OVO projects. Go work on your OVO artists. Huh?
A whole fucking label, and you only have one collab with, like, you've been had this label on one collab out of the whole fucking years you had an OVO. Like, that's the shit I don't get. Like, he just doesn't embody a Jay-Z or a fucking Nas or, like, you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be those guys in that position. You have one collab album. You barely do records with your fucking OVO camp, but you have a million records with Atlanta niggas. You have a million records with Houston niggas. You have a million records with all these niggas
million records with California niggas.
Million records with
LA niggas.
Like, what the fuck is up, bro? Like, I don't really understand. That's the thing that frustrates me personally.
Yeah.
Is as a label, as a record label, like if I had OVO and I'm Drake, I'm working with Smiley, I'm working with Roy Woods, I'm working with Party all the time, I'm working with I Love McConan when he was on it, I'm working with all these guys, bro, because I want my artist to shine. It's like he doesn't want his niggas to shine.
Well, I'll tell you this: that's a narcissistic behavior, by the way. Just letting you know that, right? If you didn't know that already. But also too, it's the same thing that some of us said coming up in my generation of, man, if Dre just came down here and seen us, man, like it could change everything. Man, if TDE would, because TDE broke a lot of bread. Like I got a Kendrick verse that I didn't have to pay for. I have a Kendrick verse I didn't have to pay for. And off the strength of me just doing the work I did with Ab-Soul, the strength of me being around and just producing for him for free or trying to get on a project he did. I got one for free for the love. You can't never tell me nothing about him like that, right? His character's always been on the forefront. The reality of it is, what was the last point you made? I want to make sure I piggyback off of that. What was the last point you just made?
He doesn't work with like his own artists, like his own label. He doesn't just, to me, he's not a Jay-Z. He's not a Nas. He's just, I don't know. And he has a million records with everybody outside of Toronto. He doesn't have any records per se with his own individual artists that he signed.
So here's my point. There was a time that I had to make a decision. It's almost like I'm waiting at the end of a hallway. Dr. Dre's not going to walk out that hallway and do anything for your career. Not because he's a bad person, but because he has his own priorities and focus. What are you going to do for yourself? And I think right now, there's a lot of people who don't really want to do this themselves. They don't really want to be independent. They want somebody like a Drake to come save them. Well, guess what? He's not in a position to do any kind of saving right now. So it's got to be an artist that says, man, I got this. And I got these songs, I got these producers, I got these platforms, I got the Man Them podcast. Hey, let's go up. And it's gonna be up to y'all to recognize that even if it's somebody, in my opinion, if it's not somebody who's doing views, you say, I don't care. I love this culture so much, I'm gonna make sure I do the things that the other outlets are not willing to do. 6 months of that, your numbers will go up. 6 months later, you're going to be the ones championed as pioneers simply because you did it when nobody else is willing to do it. Y'all got to be the ones that change the narrative on it. You have no matter how much your reach is, you have a powerful, powerful tool through the communication of these cameras and your platform and podcast. You guys are representing another point of view that we're not seeing out here in the States. So nobody's coming to save y'all. Nobody's coming to save the artists. It's got to be y'all that really changed this whole thing. Like, imagine if like a TV show like Rap City existed, but was in Toronto right now.
We used to have it, but then like the infrastructure's are fucked up out here, bro. But you know what? We need to just do it ourselves.
That's what I'm about to say. There you
That's
go.
it.
There you go.
And it's funny that you said that because we've like us two, we're in that mindset already. Like we've always wondered like how come Toronto doesn't have its own baddies and stuff like that. And you know what? We just worked with some people. Boom, we started doing it. Real Bad Girls of the Six. That's what it's called, right?
Yep, Real Bad Girls of the Six. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like that's going. The thing is, what's so funny is that's happening everywhere right now.
Yep, I know.
Legacy Media is out of here.
Yeah, so Murder Mook has freaking baddies rap. I just seen that on my ex on Twitter. Baddies rap. Yeah. Like rap battle chicks, but baddies like rapping. Yeah. Like it's crazy. Like everybody's doing it by themselves. Legacy Media is out.
Yeah, so we got to be the ones that step in and make that happen.
Yes, man. Mr. King, I don't know, man. We can keep you here for hours. You know what I'm saying?
It's on us.
I definitely.
I think you froze.
Oh, like, you froze.
Like I think you froze.
I was like, he just had that straight face for so long.
Yeah.
Man. He might. If he doesn't, make sure you guys go follow us, Curtis King. Great convo.
He's back. He's coming back. He's gonna close out. His laptop probably died.
Let me find out. Drake and them found got links into your fucking Streamlab. Like, no. This is too much, guys. Like,
oh man.
Nah, he's saying some real shit though. I mean, in my opinion, I don't know how it's gonna work. Seeing how our city is, maybe he needs to come down here and actually talk to some of the artists so he can see how.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
Where we know how they are. Like the artists are gonna go to the views. But what he said was true though. We just have to build it, and it's something that you actually. It's crazy when we talk to other people that are successful, and they have the same mentality as us. Because you said this, yo, we gotta interview everybody.
The no
We're
joke
like, yo,
approach.
yeah, we're like, yo, we have to do it, fam. It doesn't matter if they're the littlest to the biggest artist, we have to do it. So fuck, bro. We really gotta be the guys putting on Toronto. Shit.
Yeah, no, like it's refreshing for someone to share the same views, because it's like we're not thinking alone. We're not in our own headspace. We're actually okay. We're actually onto something. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's always blessed that way. Hey, what's up? Welcome back.
Go back, go back. Yeah, I'm about to say I got some in and out in the microwave, so I'm hungry. I'm with you guys, but my brain is starting to do that thing now.
Yeah,
But
same thing. I gotta go finish my dinner too, bro.
I gotta go home. I gotta go home, man.
but to that point, man, I'm telling you, like I say this from a genuine place. Like we want to see folks win no matter where you're from. It's just a matter of identifying, like, we need to be able to separate, like, yo, we are the us. That's the us. It's not, he's not saying, just LA or just Compton. But he's also not excluding it. He's also saying that's my us. Everybody has an us that's going on here. And I think that it is something that is across the board, where culture is valued. That is part of the us. Where culture is respected, other cultures are respected. That is part of the us. And I think that it's on us because, man, if we rely on some of the OGs, we're going to be disappointed. If we rely on some of the artists, we're going to be disappointed. If we rely on the people that have been positioned to power, who haven't been doing it for the last X amount of years, they're not going to do nothing today. Mm-hmm. At some point, you got to realize that ain't nobody coming down that hallway. It's just you. It's just you, fam. So, but yeah, I appreciate y'all having me on today, man.
No, we appreciate you, man. Thank you for your time.
We need to be in these convos now. You know what I'm saying? You got another healthy Canadian team, Toronto team. If you ever need somebody else to join in these convos, I'm
gonna extend an invite to you guys to the channel, because I've been asking for a perspective. I want to bring y'all to the channel because they need to understand the different layers of this. Let's do it next week if you're down for that.
Yeah, we down, man. But anything, bro.
We're gonna hit up company man too. We're gonna sit down with the company man and have this conversation too. Like, we this is what we were trying to do from time. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be real. I'm kind of sick of interviewing Toronto people. Like, I love them. You know what I'm saying? I'll promote them. No. I'm gonna still promote them.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Like, I'm just tired of having the same old conversation. So having conversations like this, it pushes me. I'm not gonna lie. So it's I love them.
I'll tell you this, you may have a different opinion on it when you realize it's been the wrong people reaching out, right? When you start talking to people outside the city, it's a really interesting thing how it brings people who are closest to home a little bit closer to you. So, like, even this conversation is going to make somebody be like, damn, like, I didn't think he'd be even open to talking to somebody from Canada. And it's like, not like us and all this. This was never anti-Canada. It was never that.
I never felt that.
Me either.
It
felt it anti-OVO, but not Canada.
Especially being black too. It's like, no, like we have different reasons for connection. It's not just poverty. It's not just crime. It's not just we have so many different things that bring us joy across the board. Hip hop being one of those.
Exactly.
How the hell can we look at you representing hip hop where you from and trying to find the ways to bring folks who are holding up the values of that culture? How can we look at you and be like, no, you're an enemy because you're from Canada? What does that even sound like to say that? So this is a reason why, like, I talked to Justin about it. I was like, man, he's like, this is what he's pushing for. That's why he brought Friday on the platform. He's like, no, we need to have different opinions so that we properly represent and we're not just in some kind of echo chamber, right?
Yeah.
So, nah, dog. I think that this generation is a lot more emotionally IQ. The emotional IQ of this generation is a lot different than 96, 95 when it came to like the East Coast, West Coast, and how that got flamed. No, we didn't have an example of what happens when it goes to hell. It's not that. Yeah, this is a matter of like, we're going to reach across the board. We're going to do these videos. I'm going to amplify it. Then I'm going to bring y'all on the platform and we're going to have a conversation because, like, people need to know that not everybody thinks like Drake, but that's once again another narcissistic point of view. I want everybody to believe that everybody believes the things that I do because I'm Canada. No, you're not. You're not Canada. You are a citizen like anybody else that's in there. You're a popular one, but you're a citizen like everybody else. So nobody's bigger than LA out here. Not even Kendrick. Kendrick will tell you first and foremost, He respects the politics of the city. He's never acted like he was bigger than the city. And all these folks that you see supporting him, all these artists have gotten verses from him, have rock shows with him. I remember seeing Kendrick at a 70 capacity club in Long Beach out here, right? In Long Beach. And before he went on stage, I said, can I get a drop? It's funny because he said, can I get a drop? No. Can I get a drop from you for my project called Snick at Night? And he's like, yeah, what you want me to say? Hella regular. He was out here amongst everybody. That's why he got the respect from the OGs he does, because he was really out here and really showing love. And not because it was political, not because of what he could gain, but because he's just a real human being. I've known Ab so long, to the point where he recorded in my grandmother's patio, fam. What are we talking about? So, nah, I just think that real recognize real, authenticity recognizes authenticity, and I definitely appreciate you guys having me on. I will be reaching out to have you guys on my platform as well.
Thank you, my brother.
Really quick, can you let the people know how to get a hold of you, your YouTubes, all that good stuff? And can we get a drop at the end too? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Can you get a drop? No, I'm playing. I got you. So you can find me at curtisking.com. I still have services for independent artists that want to learn how to build their YouTube, that want to learn how to do Canva, that want to learn how to make beats, that want to get sound packs. I got all that on curtisking.com. My YouTube is Curtis King TV, right? 2 S's, Curtis King TV. My ad is the same on everything, at Curtis King with 2 S's. And so for the drop, what you want me to say?
This is your boy, this is your man, this is your dog, or whatever you say.
It's Curtis King. You're tuned into the Mandem Show.
You're tuned into the Mandem Show.
Okay. What's good with you? This is Curtis King, and you are tuned in to the Mandem Show. Yeah.
Yes.
That's such a radio voice. It's so nice.
Right? I've been doing this for a long time. I had a 20-year, still got a career as a rapper, but I started with just nothing but doing drops all the damn time. So yeah, I appreciate it.
We gotta hear a song, man. We gotta do something together. I'll send you something, you know what I'm saying? I rap too a little bit. You know
you trying to start a war out here. Okay, I see what you're doing.
I'll beat you in a war.
I'm just I should play that song for him. He might actually let me know.
Oh, I don't care about WhatsApp.
Oh man.
I'm telling you, that's rap. I love rap. I love fucking rap music, bro. Like, you don't understand it, bro. I woke up with rap music. I woke up buying on Columbia House, Biggie Smalls, bitches fucking. My mom broke the fucking tape. I'm talking about my nigga. Like, I love rap, bro.
Yeah. Same here. That's what brings us all into this conversation. Rap brought us, no matter what side you think rap did that. Hip hop did that. Like, a segment of hip hop, mainstream rap did that. We're here talking to have a conversation about something that happened almost a year ago. March 26th when Light That dropped.
Yeah.
Is when and today is February 26th.
Crazy.
One whole year.
Not Like Us dropped 298 days ago.
And we still talking about it. It's the best. Rap is best. All right, but yeah, not to hold you.
So, man, salute to you guys, and
salute. We locked in.
Absolutely. Well, hey, like I said, I'm gonna reach out to you guys. We're gonna have you on. Thanks for having me on.
All right, respect.
All right, peace out.
Appreciate it.